So Microsoft has officially canceled games on the Xbox 360. Now this doesn't come to a surprise to I don't think anybody really considering how long it's been out, but we got to talk about this because the Xbox 360 in my mind at least it's a legend. It will always be a legend. It's up there with the PS2 and the PS1 and I want to talk about why. Now that may sound like a bit of a broad statement because the Xbox 360 probably didn't have as many good games as the PS2, but it still had and it still ran a lot of one of the best games in gaming in general. Take for example Mass Effect, Red Dead Redemption, games like that. And I feel that back in the day, it didn't get the it didn't get the credit it deserved. Now that we look back at it, people can really see what a legendary system it was. And for a lot of people, it was their first gaming console in general. Now, not for me because I grew up playing on the Nintendo 64 and the PS1 way back in the day. But before we kind of talk about all of that, I want to talk about when I first got a 360 and I want to talk about a lot of the games that I played and kind of like my evolution in gaming. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. So I first got a 360 in 2007. I got one 2 years after it originally came out. And one of the first games I got was Naruto. Well, the very first game I got was Naruto Rise of a Ninja, which I actually have. I think it's right over here. I have it in a game case, and yes, I actually do have a game case. This isn't a 360 game actually right here, but this is a very old school game. Let's put it right there so you guys can see it. Look at that. Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3. That is old school. But let me show you guys my very first 360 game I ever got. I got this the same day I got the console. And it was like $560 or something like that. It was crazy. Right here. Here we go. Wait, let me fix the disc. There we go. Wait. There we go. Look at that. Naruto Rise of a Ninja. Is it focusing? I hope it is. Well, yeah, that was my first ever 360 game. Shit, whoops. That was my first ever 360 game, and it was such a vast improvement to what I was used to because I was playing the PS2, and when you make that leap from 480p or whatever the PS2 resolution was to 720p, it felt like such a massive difference because keep in mind, I was not into PC gaming or anything of the sort, so that was as good as it got to me at that time. Like, that was just mind blown. Graphics were amazing, and the dashboard, everything about the 360 was just so natural and so cool that I couldn't help but like it. There was nothing I disliked about it at all. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was really young and I didn't know that much about gaming as I do right now. So if the 360 were to come out today, there'd be lots of problems. People would complain about the dashboard is too plain, not enough features. But back then, that's where online gaming really took off, was 2005 and 2006. But I got mine in 2007 and I was just so happy. And a few years later, or actually a year later, I got the dreaded Red Ring of Death. For those of you who don't know, the Red Ring of Death is basically where your Xbox will kind of like flash 3 red rings where the power button is, and you're basically fucked. You got to buy a new system, or you can send it to Microsoft. They'll fix it and send it back to you. I've known people to have theirs fixed and send it back to them, but I didn't do that because, it's poor, and it's not that I didn't have the money to send it back, but it was more of the fact that I really couldn't. Okay, how do I word that? The reason for it basically was because that I was in school a lot of the time, so I didn't really have the patience really to pack everything up and then send it. And keep in mind, as a child or as a teenager, young teenager, you're basically broke. You don't have money. You live off your parents. So that's what I mean when I was poor. Like, I didn't have any money to send it out, and I didn't have the patience to wait for it. The closest I got to sending it out was getting the shipping label. That's it. I didn't even get to the post office. So that just wasn't working at all. So I bought I didn't buy a new one. One of my parents got me a new one, and I played that thing all the way through till a year later. Or actually, I think it was a few months later. It just broke on me again. So they kept breaking on me. Every single one I got just kept breaking and breaking and breaking. And it got to the point where it was so frustrating because I was just, like I said, as a teenager, we don't have money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have any money to just go to GameStop and just, swipe our card for another Xbox 360. And back then, those things were like $300 and $400. So they were expensive. And we just couldn't do that. So I was basically screwed. And then eventually I got a PS3, courtesy of my father. And that just held me over until I got another 360. So once I got another 360, yeah, man, the same thing happened. And it kept happening over and over again. And eventually they came out with the Slim. And the Slim was the end all be all. It was supposed to be this glorious system that just saved the day and didn't screw anybody over. And it actually did. But here's the thing. I actually ended up getting another 360. That was the white one. But it didn't break until like way later on. So then I got the Slim. And ever since I had the Slim, I have had no issues with it. It's run perfectly fine. No red ring of death. I can leave that thing on for days and days at a time. So, it was really... I'm really glad they came out with that Slim because it really saved a lot of money and it saved a lot of heartache for someone like me who at the time was a teenager. Well, actually, by the time I got a Slim, I was actually 17. And I first got a 360 when I was 13. So every year, or every few months, I'm either buying a new 360 or whatever. So again, that saved me a lot of money and I had nothing to worry about, which I'm really glad. And the 360 had so many great games. Like I said, Red Dead Redemption, it had Mass Effect, so many great games, Dark Souls. But I feel that, and I'm not talking about exclusives, mainly. I'm mainly talking about just games it had in general, like Call of Duty, Skyrim, stuff like that. I'm talking about just games that came out and that ran well for the 360 just in general. And it had so many great games, so many memorable games that, not even the PS4 and Xbox One have. The only thing that I would say the Xbox One truly has, without a doubt, that they made that was not a remaster would probably be The Witcher 3, and there's a couple of other games that I'm missing right now, but that's the first one that pops in my head is The Witcher 3. But so far we don't have that many outstanding, incredible, mind-blowing games just yet. We will get them in the future, I am sure of that, but as of now, we don't have too many. We have a couple, but we don't have too many right now. But yeah, man, the 360, it was great. It was just a powerhouse when it wasn't breaking every few fucking months. So let me know in the comments below, what was your experience with 360. It was a really good one, positive. Again, aside from it breaking all the time, it was a great online experience. It was my first ever introduction to online play. I remember the first time I played somebody, I was on Naruto. I played a guy and I was really shy. I was incredibly shy because back then online gaming really wasn't as prevalent as it is now. It was just brand new. And I had the little headset with it looked like one of those headsets off of one, I can't think of an example. Fuck it, I'm not going to try. But basically it had like the little piece that you put on your head, and there's a one piece that goes like right here, and it comes all the way around with like the mic coming around. And it was so flimsy, you can easily break it. And oh my god, I've had one break so many times. I've had like 10 of those things, probably more than that. But anyways, I get on and me and this guy are playing, and I kind of tell him, this is my first time on Xbox Live, so I'm kind of, I'm not sorry if I'm not as talkative, because we're playing a game where we can talk to each other, go back and forth, whatever. And I told him, I'm new to this. And the dude was really cool. He sounded like he was like maybe in his like mid to late 20s. And he was like, yeah, it's cool, I understand. Yeah, and I was a bit of a squeaker at the time. So, I'm that's not really something that is pleasant to hear or very inviting to hear. So he was a really cool guy. I can't even remember his name or his I can't remember his gamer tag because that was so long ago. But it was one hell of an experience for sure. I can remember one friend that I had. His name was Mexican Black 15 or 11. He's probably mixed, like he's both probably Mexican and black. I don't know. That was just a gamer tag. We played a hell of a lot of Naruto together, and he was one of the chillest dudes. He was my first ever Xbox Live friend, and he was such a chill guy. And I have so many great memories, playing so many good games. GTA 4, again, Red Dead Redemption. What else came out? Naruto The Broken Bond. Some of these games are a little bit, they're they're not really as popular as some of the games out today. But I had a lot of great memories and a lot of great moments staying up all night playing with friends. And the 360, even though they're not making games on it anymore, it still will go down in history as one of my favorite consoles of all time. That is just an absolute. It's just a great experience, you know. And I can sit here all day and I can talk about how much I love the 360 and all the great experiences I've had. But you know, it's one thing to tell you guys about it, and it's another to actually experience it on my end. Not to say that you guys don't understand, but I can go on, but my experiences with it are just very close and very near and dear to me. And you guys, I hope you guys have the same experience as well, is what I'm trying to say. I'm almost at a loss for words because it's like an end, it's like an end of an era. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of something so great and so beautiful. And all we can do now is look forward to see what Microsoft will do, even though the Xbox One isn't really doing well at all. And it's funny because the 360 was dominant back then. Now this generation, the PS4 is dominant, and the Xbox One is not doing too hot. But I'm not going to get into that bullshit. But yeah, so let me know in the comments below what are your experiences with the Xbox 360? You know, what was your favorite game back then? And, you know, how was just your overall enjoyment with the console? I really want to hear this because this is something that is just very important to me. Very important to me. I want to hear what you guys got to say. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating. You know I love it when you like it. And as always, catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, have a great day.